That sucked. Okay, so I've just relocated. Clearly, I'm gonna have to invest in a Wi-Fi extension box, I think. Yeah, so the kids are home from school holidays, right? So Wi-Fi is being zapped. So yeah, I don't know what's happened there. So hopefully, some of you might pick up on this. Okay, so it was all about what I was talking about was making a bigger impact with the senior leadership team and with the board. Hopefully, you got some notes around building trust through transparency. So, being honest with the data that you have available to you. So, basically, in a nutshell, what I've seen in the past is examples of health and safety reports to the ELT, SLT boards. I would describe as sunshine reports, where perhaps the data is being stretched well beyond its limits around what is actually truthful, um, purely because perhaps the report author may feel that if they are reporting things in the negative and things aren't going as well as they should have been, then it's it's on their head. It must be because they are failing, and that's something that's really critical to get beyond. The boards and the senior leadership team would much prefer to have straight, true, honest information backed by data, rather than stretching the realms of reality, right? So they need to know what's what, so that they can then allocate the resources that they need to ensure that they're actually meeting what's legally required of them. Um, we need to empower through data. So what I mean by that is um, a good example is I was talking about the fact that what I'm trying to do today is to try and give you the tools and the means to win the hearts and minds of the senior leaders when it comes to significant change. So this example would be it's time to refresh the workplace health and safety management system. Perhaps hasn't been reviewed or refreshed for a number of years. You've determined that the best thing to do would be to align it to ISO 45001. May not necessarily be to certification status, but at least it's aligned to a recognized standard, right? And you're trying to win them over with this idea. So there is a start point. This is the start of the journey. We have identified that there is some significant gaps in the current health and safety management system. We want to get it to this standard, and it's going to take us this length of time, maybe 12 months, maybe 18 months, right? And then you chop it down into bite-sized chunks of milestones of how to get it to there. By visually demonstrating that to the powers that be, it makes it way more understandable and palatable, so that they are far more inclined to accept change. Really good examples of this in practice is actually Uber is a really amazing example, right? So before there was some real crunch points when it came to using taxi services. You didn't know when they were going to arrive. You didn't know who was going to arrive. You knew nothing about the quality of the driver. You didn't know what route they were going to take, and you probably didn't even have a good idea of how much it was going to cost. Often you would jump in the cab, and sometimes they would forget to turn on the meter, and then they would just make up a number, and you were not in a position to argue, right? Lots and lots of crunch points and lots of reasons why not to use taxis. Uber came along and just blew it all out of the water. It gave us all of this information, it empowered the users, and as a result, it's now a $1 billion industry pretty much overnight. Um, and so the power of data and visualization of the change and the roadmap to get you to where you want to be is extremely powerful, and highly recommend it when it comes to trying to implement change with senior leaders and boards. Um, Showcasing your expertise, all right? So just reminding them, letting them know about your background experience, how many years you've been in this industry, the certification and training you've got, maybe some recent training you've done. Let them know. Also, remind them of, or inform them of, news items and news articles. Where can you get that information? Well, good source of information would be either the WorkSafe NZ website, or if you're not on it already, is the WhatsApp group that I set up, which has almost on a daily news items and events, which you can then share and pass on to your executive and board members, giving them some food for thought. What does this mean for your organization? Making it relevant to them. Really, really powerful stuff. And then the last thing I wanted to note on this was acting as if you were a consultant. So even if you are internal, in-house, acting as a consultant, what I mean by that is identifying the gaps and the issues within the organization, presenting those issues and gaps to the business leaders, whether it's the executive leadership team or the board, And don't make this mistake. Don't just turn up with issues and problems. Turn up with issues and problems and solutions, and perhaps one or two different options that they can then choose from. You can help inform those decisions, reminding them of your skill set, perhaps presenting it in a roadmap, making it visually and easily digestible. And I assure you that you will start to find that you win their trust and you win their hearts and you begin to win their minds when it comes to significant decision making and change, and perhaps trying to get them over the line with a refreshed health and safety management system. Okay, so that was the first topic I wanted to talk on. The second topic, really, really quickly now, is AI and health and safety. So I did a webinar on this a few months ago. You can find it on my YouTube channel. Ultimately, in a nutshell, and also you can catch my interview with Hilary Walton on Health and Safety Unplugged, which was released last week on this topic. She's very high up in Microsoft and is all over AI. And the key takeaway is that no matter what the AI presents to us, the key thing to remember is that it is the people that will run those systems and those processes, and it is the people that will implement the improvements and the recommendations that come out of those tools. It also, I believe, from a health and safety perspective, will free us. It will unshackle us from those desks, or the desks where we spend days, if not weeks, if not months of a year, creating reports, gathering data from several different data points, spreadsheets over here, written documents over here, submitted hazard reports over there, and smushing them all together into this report, which if we were really pushed, we would have to admit the integrity of the data is probably quite questionable, right? And then we are then trying to present our thoughts and feelings around those reports. I feel that we are far better placed to be actually doing the real work, which is spending time with people and having real, honest conversations with the people on the ground. At the end of the day, the experts within organizations, from my opinion, are the people who are at the coalface. And so that's where the real solutions and that's where the real gold is. And that's where I feel health and safety practitioners need to get comfortable being in. AI is going to take care of the reporting. That's just a given. If you haven't had a look at Microsoft Copilot, they did a launch on YouTube a few months ago just to show you exactly what Microsoft Office is going to look like with AI inserted into it. We thought maybe next year we would see it. They've now announced it's going to be in a couple of, it literally, I think it's about 4 to 6 weeks' time. They're going to make it available to everyone. If you've got a license with Microsoft, or if your business has got a license with Microsoft, Copilot is going to arrive, and Copilot is going to just completely change our day, just like that. It's that it's going to be that influential. It talks among your Excels. It talks from your Excels to your Word to your PowerPoints to your Teams meetings. It will transcribe your meetings. It will make notes of the actions. It will email the people that it thinks is best suited to take those actions. Then you get your tasks and your action reminders. So basically, all of that administration, all of that data extraction, and just painful tasks that we do day in day out is just going to disappear, and it's going to allow us the time to go and do what actually we're here to do. It's super exciting. Okay, so that's AI. If you want to know more about that, I'll just put in. Thank you, Dave. Thanks, Gary. It's good to know you guys are still here with me. I'm going to put in a couple of links. So here's the really interesting interview I did with Hilary Walton. Go and check that out. If you want to find my if you want to find newsletter, if you want to find all other podcasts, that's my link tree that will take you through to everything that I produce for free. It's all there available for you. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was how to inspire business leaders, right? So with the 2 minutes that I've got left, I'm going to try and rattle this through really quickly. Couple of things first before you'll head away back to your busy days is one, clearly I need to invest in some better Wi-Fi. I will do that within the next few weeks. Secondly is it's a new month next month. So this is all about introducing change to the powers that be, letting them know, hey, look, our health and safety management system is either crap, it's full of holes, or it's due a review and refresh. How do you win their hearts and minds? Using some of the techniques that I've mentioned before, using roadmaps and using the data, being honest, reminding them of your skills and expertise, acting like a consultant, identifying the gaps, finding the solutions. If it means bringing in a third party external expert, do it. They will be more than happy to do that if they are smart and if they trust you. Um, the role of AI and what that means for health and safety practitioners, getting away from the desks, moving away from those bloody reports that we all get stuck doing, and actually doing the real work that matters. I'm so excited about that. And finally, is how to inspire business leaders. The reason why I'm covering all of this is the start of the journey of implementing a workplace health and safety management system. Next month, I'm going to be focusing in on the first element of ISO 45001, which is all about identifying the scope, identifying the upstream and downstream PCBUs, and the interested parties of the organization. I'm going to be unpacking all of that over the next few weeks ahead. So the last thing that I said I was going to talk to was how to inspire business leaders. I'm going to rattle these off really quickly. One, get to the point. Get to the point, Matt. Straight away. Don't fluff it. Don't muddle it. Just because they are time poor, just like all of us, right? So just get to the point. Ask questions to help clarify their needs. Okay, so once they've got the idea of what you're trying to do, we need to introduce a new, refreshed workplace health and safety management system. Does anyone have any questions? What the heck's a WHSMS? Well, let me tell you about that, Bob. Listen to what they are saying, but equally as important, what they are not saying. If you've got members of the executive team or members of the board who are just sat there quietly with their arms crossed, not really doing anything or saying anything, those are the people you want to be asking questions of. Don't ignore them. Be natural, be yourself. Authenticity, particularly with the rise of AI, right? All of these soft skills, which were once nice to have, are now going to be absolutely key, absolutely essential to your professional outcome. If you are lacking in workshop facilitation, public talking, presentations, there is a ton of free training online. You just need to do some YouTube searches. There's also some amazing training providers here in New Zealand. Michael Philpott, it's possibly comes straight to mind. I am doing an interview of him next week. You can check out the podcast. You can see him in action and see what I mean. Letting them know how they can support you. So here's the problem. Here's some solutions. Acting as a consultant, here are some of the solutions, but I'm going to need to have X, Y, or Z in order to achieve this. Making it realistic, making it time bound, maybe having a pictogram to, make it visually appealing and understandable to them, using the Uber example I used before. And then make a follow-up plan. So ensure that at the end of that session, even if it's a 5-minute opportunity to speak to them, by the end of that session, I will get back to you within this time frame. I will deliver these pieces of information, and based on that, you will then be able to make an informed decision. By doing that, you are winning hearts, you are winning minds, and you are basically making yourself irreplaceable, and really clearly demonstrating the value that you bring to the business. So there you go, team. In a nutshell, within half an hour ish, with with lost internet. Thank you for sticking with me. Some events coming up. So next Tuesday, 2 p.m. We'll be doing this again. I'll hopefully have better Wi-Fi then, and I'll be delving into the first section of the ISO 45001 framework. 31st of October, which is a Tuesday at 11 a.m. here in Christchurch. We'll be catching up at the Procope Coffee House, which is central Christchurch. And then on the 16th of November, for those in Auckland, it's going to be an early start, a 7:30 a.m. meeting for an hour, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. in the Newmarket area. I haven't confirmed the location yet, working on it, but as soon as I've got that confirmed, I'll put it up here in the NZHSP group. And for those of you who are either currently consulting or have dreamed of moving into consulting but just don't have a clue where to even start, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Oh no, sorry, tomorrow, scratch that. Tomorrow morning from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. I'm going to be doing a 60-minute presentation on the behind the scenes of Advanced Safety's franchise opportunity. So Advanced Safety, my business, we were the very first health and safety consultancy in New Zealand, probably in the world. to franchise health and safety consulting. Tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing the success stories of our current franchisees. I'm also going to be showing you for the first time ever a lot of the material, or all of the material ultimately, that goes behind the license. So from the onboarding through to the training, through to the systems, through to um, the platforms, the partnerships that we've got, even down to the marketing and the sales. I'm going to be delving into an awful lot of content tomorrow. It's a free workbook that goes with it. So even if you are dipping your toe at the moment around consulting, that is the place that you will want to be. So that's 10:30 tomorrow morning for 60 minutes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to do it actually. Anyway, I hope this finds you all well. Thanks for sticking it out with me, and yeah, look, I'll sort out my internet in the very near future. All right, everyone, take care. Really good to see you all. Thank you for your contributions, and yeah, hopefully see you tomorrow morning at 10:30. Otherwise, I'll catch you all at 2 p.m. next Tuesday to delve into the ISO 45001 Health and Safety Management Framework. All right, take care. Have an awesome afternoon. See you guys. Thank you.